Well, hey everybody. It's Thursday, November 7th, 2024. I'm Jan Erickson, and this is As Above, So Below. Well, hope everybody's doing well. A little hard after the election when it didn't go the way you wanted it to. So we'll see how this goes. If it's anything like the time before, it's oh my lord. Anyhow, let's go ahead and get started and take a rune. Well, there we go. I wait for one to end up in my hand. Here we have Ansus. Now, Ansus is the fourth rune of the Elder Futhark. It means Odin's rune. It also means God. So you're looking at divine message. You're looking at spiritual awareness, clarity, higher clarity, eloquent communication. So communication that's on a higher level instead of ego-based. Kind of looks like an F, doesn't it? The letter F. Well, it actually represents the letter A in the alphabet. So in any event, we start out on a positive note this morning with Ansus and hearing the voice of spirit within to try to make sense of our world where there is no sense to be made, maybe. Let me get a little bit closer here. Well, for those of you who were here on Monday, I dropped two of my Geomancy runes, and I found one, but I cannot find the other, which means I have to pull everything out of here, and I have not yet done that. Probably will do that today or maybe this weekend sometime. See if I can find the other one. Anyway, I'm using another set that I have until I can determine what's really gone and, or if I have to go ahead and remake some. Here we're looking at Albus today. So aligning well with Ansus, we have Albus, which is the sage or wisdom, higher wisdom. It's the complement of, let's see, when is the last time we had that? It wasn't this week or last week. Yeah, it's been a while. We get it in the forecast every week, well, not every week, but we do get it sometimes in the forecast. Excuse me. I better drink some tea here. This is Albus, and again, it means the sage or or wisdom or clarity or higher wisdom or higher clarity. And so both from a physical reality side and a higher self side, we're going to be looking at things through higher wisdom basically today and maybe through the weekend until the next time we meet on Monday. Let me move these out of the way here. And let's go ahead and I'm going to do a little more shuffling and see what the cards have to say, how they're going to define that, because it's like, okay, so we need to see if we can see things through higher wisdom. Well, what does that mean in terms of our daily experience? I've done some shuffling already, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time doing that. And then I will cut the deck. I'll do it 3 times. And then shuffle one more time and then cut the deck in half. And we'll take the lower half of it and draw 3 cards. Well, we've got one from the suit of swords, one from the suit of wands, and we have one card from the major arcana. It's the high priestess. High priestess is going to talk about the inner self. It's going to talk about dreams and intuition and empathic awareness and the divine feminine within. Can have to do with revelation, change, alignment, something. It can indicate that there could be something hidden, in terms of hidden awareness. And again, when you're talking about Ansus and Albus, that's essentially what that is. So they think both of them align very well with the High Priestess today. That would be card 2 from the Major Arcana. But before we go any further, let me pull my calculator over here. Let's go ahead. We had 4 for Ansus. We're going to do the numerology. 2 for the 2 of Swords. 2 again. oops, let me do that again. 4 plus 2 plus 2 plus 8 for the 8 of Wands. Well, no, that didn't, I don't know, my thing's not working very well, or I'm not clicking it enough. Maybe I'm over on this side of it. Let's do this again. 4 plus 2 plus 2 plus 8 is 16. So 7, 1 and 6 are 7, so that's going to be the numerology for the reading. Let me write that down up here. All right. Okay. So as I said, we have the 2 of Wands and we have the 8 or 2 of Swords and the 8 of Wands, in addition to the High Priestess. My throat is just not doing well this morning. I wonder if it's something in here. I don't think so, though. I was fine out in the living room. But then this happened. Anyway, so we've got a 7 numerology for the reading. 7, of course, is about observation and balance. It can be about justice and magic. Letting things settle out. Visualize a scale, where you let the 2 pans settle out so you see what you have. And again, if that's the case, where you're letting things settle out and observing to be sure of what's going on, you're going to be trying to do that from a higher awareness, so that you're not allowing ego to come in and try to define the narrative for you in a way that maybe is subjective and personal agenda oriented and trying to control things with your own perspective, because it may not actually reflect what the entire truth is, right? And so again, a 7 numerology with Ansus and Albus, I think reinforces itself right there for the overall sense of the reading. And again, starting with the High Priestess, we're looking at balance, we're looking at our intuition, the inner self. You have the Magician that manifests, where the Fool manifests its basically physical reality. Through the Magician card, it manifests because the Fool is essentially the soul. The is going to manifest its inner reality, or its inner wisdom, if you will. The things that are hidden, that we're not, the subconscious realm, we'll say. She's sitting on a stone bench between 2 pillars. These are Solomon's pillars there, coming into the temple. And behind her, even though you can't see it, I'll bet that that's representative of the Tree of Life from the Kabbalah. And so she's got 1 foot on a maiden moon. You see the cross here, which I don't believe is a religious cross. I believe that it's a cross of balance, where you're balancing the incarnation energy on the vertical line here with the horizontal line of masculine and feminine polarity once the soul is already incarnated into form. And so you've got that vortex that comes in, that brings the soul in, and then you've got the balance that it's going to take while it's here. And so you're looking at that inner type of a balance, essentially. She holds the Torah on her lap. And you see the maiden mother crone depicted in her crown. And so you're looking at a sense of triplicity with it, but you're basically looking at balancing the outer realm with the inner realm, if you will. And again, with the 2 numerology, that's a number of balance, also love and healing and reciprocity and decisions, things like that. But I think in the case of the High Priestess, we're gonna just regard it as the balance between the inner self and the outer self, essentially, between the 2 Magician and the 2 cards, the Magician and the High Priestess. Again, we start with the 2 of Swords. From there, we need to make a decision in a dispassionate way. We had this on Monday about how we're going to see things. Here we have the woman sitting again on the stone bench, similar to the High Priestess here. You can't hardly see it, but you can see right there. There's the stone bench. I don't think you can see just a little tiny sliver of it right here on the other side. But again, the woman is sitting with her back against the ocean water there. To me, it looks like the ocean. It doesn't look like a lake, even though you can see some mountains over here. This just might be a bay of some kind. The water's not completely still, so there's some emotional issue here. And she's got to make a decision about how she wants to see things. And again, I interpret this as making a decision in a dispassionate way, one where emotions really aren't influencing, and that's why she's blindfolded. She's also similar to like the Eight of Swords, where the woman is standing in the wet, soppy sand, and you've got swords all around her, and she's bound and blindfolded in order to turn off the noise around her and go within. Same sort of energy here with the Two of Swords. Although she has a little bit more control over what's going on than in the Eight. Can you imagine to have to just totally shut everything off to be able to think, because there's just too much coming in on you, with the Eight. Here it's a little bit more controlled in terms of the decision that she needs to make. She needs to make it rationally. She needs to make it in balance, to where, again, the ego's not getting in the way of anything, trying to influence her. The decision that she needs to make. Again, another, you have the maiden moon here and up at the top, in a sense, the sliver as part of right here. You also see it down here. So you've got some parallels here between the High Priestess and the woman in the Two of Swords. And when things start coming in on us, here we have the Eight of Wands, and let's see, we did not have that on Monday. Oh, yeah. Oh, we had it on Thursday of last week. I thought we had it recently. The Eight of Wands looks like a bunch of staffs are being thrown into the situation. You see a small house or maybe a small castle in the distance on a hill. You see you've got the verdant ground dotted with trees everywhere. You still got life coming, as with all the wands or the poles that represent or staffs that are part of the suit of wands. All of them always have little greenery continuing to grow from them. So there's still a lot of the fire element in it. Wands equals fire, and so you're looking at still the catalyst of new opportunities and new growth and a lot of energy, a lot of creativity, and you have a lot of that coming in here, being thrown into the equation. And again, she's going to have to make a decision about all of this. And at the same time, maybe it means prioritizing what's coming in on you today, dealing with, one thing at a time maybe, or learning how to multitask and deal with a bunch of things all at once that come at you. Maybe they're related. And so you have to be able to figure out, okay, what's the entire picture, given the 7 numerology for the whole reading? What's the entire picture? What am I looking at? And being able to do that without a lot of, noise coming in and a lot of emotion coming in. In other words, letting the reactive ego go, oh my gosh, there's so much happening, I don't know what to do. Well, just settle down and step back and take a look at the entire picture of it all, and see how you're going to manage it or handle it for the day. Again, these could be new opportunities coming in. It could just be a lot of stuff happening at once. It could be a lot of energy from other people. Maybe you're the supervisor and you get to work and everybody comes up and is talking at once at you. And it's like, stop, let's hear me one at a time. So I can figure out what we need to do and because you want to hear everybody, right? But there's this sense of a push here with this 8. And with the 8 numerology, just like with the card of strength, which is card 8, although in some decks it's not, but the hermetic ones, they move it around. But I believe that's the one, and justice, I think they move around. I know Crowley does, and I think some of the other decks may too. But anyway, 8 is about strength and about inner strength. And again, with the High Priestess, you're gathering that inner strength from inner awareness or higher awareness with Ansus and Albus. And so you're gathering your strength about you to be able to meet whatever is coming in on you today. And again, it could be just as simple as, you're the supervisor and you show up to work and or you come out of your office or whatever, and you got 7 people standing there or 8 people standing there saying, or however many, and they're all chattering at once, they're all speaking at once. And so it could be something like that, although you would likely, and that reflects a lot of energy. That's why it could be, otherwise you would be thinking of swords if you saw something like that, like 8 swords coming in on you or something, because swords is the air element and it means communication and interaction. So, but in this case, it's the energy behind it, the forcefulness behind it. So either you've had a lot of phone calls that have come in and now you've got to answer, you've got a lot of voicemail, you've got or little messages, and you've got to answer all those phone calls that came in while you weren't there or on the other line, and you've got all these things you've got to do here. Or a lot of tasks have come in maybe, or a lot of new opportunities have come in. But a lot of that, just think of it, it's a little bit overwhelming, okay? And because it's overwhelming, you have to get yourself in a mood where you're not looking at how overwhelmed you feel by it all. And that could be another interpretation of the Two of Swords. And you're going to have to make a decision about what to do here with all of this stuff coming in on you today, all this energy. And again, it could be a lot of opportunities. It could be just the mundane aspects of your job, for example, where you just have to deal with a lot of stuff right off the bat. And it's going to take some inner strength just to be able to prioritize and to see it all for what it is, to get quiet and just step back and think about what needs to be done. Do it again in a way that's not overreacting to the energy of the moment, because there's a lot of energy here. It's going to take a lot of inner strength to do that. Strength of character maybe as well, to not get upset and angry at all these voices coming in on you, all talking at once. It's like, you don't have to yell at them to be quiet or anything. You can just stand there and, say, stop, wait. But again, also 8 is about leadership and setting the tone, setting the example of letting people know that we're going to take a look at everything and we're going to figure out what we need to do first, what's the most important thing to do, and see where it all goes. 8 is also about material recognition and approval. So if you're a supervisor and there's someone higher than you, they may be watching. How are you doing that? How are you approaching this situation where all of this stuff is happening, and how are you managing it all? It could be something like that. To me, this just feels work related. And even with the High Priestess, this feels work related, where you're going to have to go within and you're going to have to draw that inner awareness, that inner wisdom to deal with whatever this is, and not get into the reactive ego and not overreact to what's going on. Give everybody a chance to talk and make them do that instead of everybody talking at once. Because that's the hit that I'm getting. To me, this just feels work related. And or if it's not work, maybe you're involved in some kind of community project or something like that, and maybe you're the one that is sort of, they're looking to for guidance on it or something. But it just feels like that's kind of a leadership versus everybody else kind of a experience here today. And again, reacting and listening through higher awareness versus just kind of listening so far and then that's it. And that's because that's the ego doing that. The ego is like, yeah, I don't want to spend my time here. I don't want to deal with this. Well, if you're the person they're looking to for leadership in whatever capacity that is, you've got to summon up the inner strength to do that. You've got to summon up the inner strength to prioritize what needs to be done, and to get people to talk to you in a way that you can hear everybody, one by one, instead of talking over the top of one another. Because sometimes it feels like that's what this is. Again, it's not swords, but it's, again, the energy behind it, that force of, I want to express myself. I want to say what I need to say. I want to express my position, my perspective, my and it's the energy behind it. That would be the fire element behind it, versus the element of air or the suit of swords, which is the actual discussion of it. So again, lots of energy coming in whatever form today. I'll just keep it real neutral here. And you have to make a decision today that's dispassionate enough that you can actually hear what's going on and understand the true reality of all of it. And so you can make a decision and prioritize what is happening here, because there's a lot of stuff here that's happening. And again, that's related. You've got the Two of Swords, the second card, or card 2 of the major arcana. They're aligning together, where you're going to access the inner wisdom within there and make the decision that you need to make and express yourself in a way that's eloquent with Ansu's and with Albus, so that you get everybody on an even keel. Instead of everybody talking at once, suddenly they all stop and they start listening to one another, and pretty soon you're able to process all of this and come up with a plan for the day, essentially. So I think that's all this is really talking about today. Again, hopefully this resonates for you. If not, hang on to it, because it could in the next couple of days, where you feel like you've just got so much coming in and you've got to sit back and think, okay, what do I do first? How do I manage all this? How do I see it? And avoid the overreaction that the ego is going to give you when you do that. So anyhow, that's it for today. Thanks a lot for watching. Do check out the blog over at Stepping Aside at imsteppingaside.com. The stuff for the week will come up in the midnight hour Sunday morning. There'll be the forecast, the correspondences for work and magic for the week coming up, and also there'll be an herbal magic one. I haven't written it yet, so I have to still do that. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do yet, but I'll figure it out today and get that written up. And if you like to read stuff I write on other platforms as well, you can see this pretty much the same stuff. The correspondences is just part of it, half of it. The lower part of it and the charts and all of that are only on the blog. So if you want to see that whole thing, then you should go over to the blog at Stepping Aside. Otherwise, I write over on Medium and Patreon and Substack. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to make some decisions at the end of the year. I may not continue to write on all of them, but we'll see. I mean, it's really not that big of a deal to do it, because I'm just taking stuff from the blog and putting it over there. But it's just, I don't know. I always at the end of the year like to reevaluate, and we're getting there. And so I'm starting to think about what I'm going to do here differently next year. So anyhow, again, thanks for watching. Have a good weekend, and come back again on Monday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.